Everything is on the table. It's Relationship Theory with Tina Laws.
Welcome back to Relationship Theory, where we talk about all things relationships and no topic is off the table. Now, before we went into break time, we talked a little bit about several things. But one of the things we talked about while on break is how we as women and men find ourselves in these situations, and sometimes over and over again, and how do we find ourselves staying even though we know we should go. And so we talked a bit about manipulation, and that tends to be one of the top reasons why we stay. We are manipulated. And so, Kama, you want to talk a bit about, you mentioned earlier that you noticed it almost immediately in the beginning of the relationship. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was a lot of manipulation involved. I was always feeling like everything was my fault. I had to get myself fixed. Like if once something happened that was dysfunctional, there will always be an apology, and then it will be like, but you need to do this or don't do that. If you don't want this to happen. So I just felt lost and trying to figure out every day what to do to make myself better.
And we could only imagine what that would have felt like, having someone to tell you almost immediately in the beginning of a relationship that what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is causing them to operate in the capacity that they're operating in. When did you realize, maybe the first year or two or first month, when did you realize that you was in trouble?
Like I said, it was, I don't know if it was the insecurity. I just felt, and me being independent, I just go with the flow of everything. And so I felt like I always had to check in and let him know about everything. And it was just weird to me. I'm just like, leave it alone. But it was weird. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on? And I was trying to figure it out, but I couldn't. So I was just going with the flow. I'll just do what he says. And then it would get to a point where we will argue, because I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And I'm grown. I could do whatever I like, and that will cause a lot of issues.
And so how far in the relationship did you realize that, you know what, I'm going to do me anyway?
I was like that from the beginning, pretty much. And I think that was a problem.
From there. And how many years was that until you realized, like you said, when you got married, how many years into the relationship were you by this time?
The first year, getting on to the second.
Okay.
Because the abuse was instantaneous. It started off very early. And again, the manipulation, I was made to feel like it was my fault. So I was trying to grapple and understand all of that.
Was that your first relationship that was abusive?
Yep.
And so that being your first relationship, your abusive relationship, what made you stay? What made you feel as though, you know what, I'm gonna stay anyway?
Because I felt like something was wrong with me. Really, I really did. I felt like something was wrong with me, so I need to fix myself. So I don't want to lose my husband or that person. So get yourself together. And figure it out.
And that's what you mentioned earlier.
Right.
You had
so what
started on therapy.
What it sounds like to me is that you're always on the back foot, always on the defense.
Always.
And do you ever have the time to say, listen, I don't like this about you.
Right.
I don't like that about you.
Yeah.
And the people, the individuals like that, put all the fault on you. And you can't even say, well, you know what? I don't really like the way you look at me. I don't like the way you hug me, and I don't like the way you talk to me, because you're gonna get more abuse.
And if I try, it was like he'll encourage me to do it. To listen, just come to me if you want to talk about anything, and I did it. And that will be
right. And that's one of the signs of blaming the other person for everything. Like, so you're always on the back foot,
always on the defense,
and always being defensive. You ain't got no time to say anything that you like or dislike.
It was exhausting,
right?
To say
and so that's pure power and control over another individual. And as young ladies having relationships, and you think, oh, this guy's looking out for me. His got my back, you know what I mean? He makes a lot of money, and vice versa, and you're thinking, okay, this is the best, and they'll tell you this is the best relationship you ever
it
had.
does.
I'm gonna take care of you better than
Right.
anybody else. So
Yeah,
you buy
exactly.
into
Yeah,
it.
You do.
I'm not gonna treat you.
Yeah.
You really
This is what
do.
they say. I'm not gonna treat you like everybody else treated you.
yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna treat you better.
Yeah.
So this brainwashing manipulation
Yeah.
they got
It's
full control.
real. It
It's
is
convincing.
real.
Yeah.
It's very convincing.
Right.
And-
And
yeah.
it makes you feel kind of like silly because I know that I'm a very smart individual, but
Yeah.
being around this person, I felt like a dummy
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
I had
and
no
that
common
goes
sense.
with. I was thinking when you was talking there is how we fall for that. It's only you. Nobody
Yeah.
else makes me feel like this. Nobody
Yes.
else does this to me.
Yeah.
And then after they put you in a compromising position, the next day they come back with nice gifts or
Yeah.
give you nice things. So you're feeling like, oh, he's really in love
Yeah.
with me, or
Oh,
she's
right.
really in love
Yeah.
with me. So
Nobody ever
I
done
might
that
as
for
well-
me.
Nobody's
Yeah.
ever done
Right,
it. And then
right, right.
they keep telling you nobody's like them. And it
Yeah.
could even go as far as them talking to other women or talking to other men in such a way to prove to you
Yeah.
that you're number
Yeah.
one, because
Yeah.
they ain't got nothing on you. So then that puts us as women or even men in a position of, oh yeah, they really got my back. Like
But
they
you just,
really love
you
me.
just said something about they find out what gifts you like and
Yeah.
different things that you really like and
Yeah.
that you value. Like
Yes.
any beginner relationship, they ask you what kind of man do you like, what kind of women do you like,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
tell them everything.
Everything, yeah.
And so that got a thing in the back of the head,
Like, yep,
Yes.
I got
ticking off the
this.
check. And like, got that,
Uh-huh.
you're all right. And
Yeah.
they'll actually like the same colors you like.
Yeah.
And this is for the young people, young boys, young teenagers and women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guys and women, that this is the manipulative ways to get in.
Yeah.
And when you tell them, answer that question of what kind of guy you like, what kind of girl you like, you're giving them a one-way ticket right into your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've wait a minute, how you got your shoes under the bed, your toothbrush and your
Yeah.
toothbrush holder? You actually did that.
Yeah, and
And
it
so,
even goes one
Yeah.
step further.
Yeah.
If you want now, you're starting to talk to him about your father or your mother.
Yes.
You're having issues
Yes.
at
Yes.
home, or you're having issues with your sister. Oh, they become your
And
best
they
friends.
use
So
that against
they use
you.
that
I was just
against
gonna
you.
say
So,
that. They
so
throw that
now
in
they
your
become
face.
your
Sure
captain
did.
hero.
Yeah.
They are your
Right.
heroes.
Try to
So
protect you,
now,
yeah.
oh, my daddy or my mom, oh my gosh, they're doing it again. Oh
Yeah.
wow, come over here. What you want to do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that's not right. They shouldn't treat you like that. So
Yeah.
now the hook, line, and sinker. You're saying, oh well, he really loves me.
Well,
Come on,
that's-
you can stay over here. Don't worry about your mom and daddy.
Exactly.
They're not gonna buy you this. They don't want
Nope.
to do this for you. Come on,
Yeah.
let me do it for you.
Yeah.
And so
Right.
now they start building
Right.
your trust. That's how it starts. They start building
They
our
sure
trust,
will.
right?
isolation
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isolated
is another
me.
flag
Yeah.
away from your
Yes.
family and
Yeah.
get you.
I didn't go out a lot with my friends and family. I didn't even visit them a lot. But maybe they get into stuff. I would always go to our family members' house, but I never told them what was going on.
And
Yeah.
that's important too. There's something
Yeah.
that in all of us that we've experienced, me being a past victim of domestic violence, you and you've been a part
Yeah.
of, what is that thing that we don't tell anybody? Like we just keep it a secret. And I know we all have our reasons as to why we probably didn't tell, but I know for me it was because I know I wasn't over. I know I
Right.
wasn't finished. So
Right.
why put this big blow up out there, everybody hating everybody and not looking at all
Yeah.
these things? I'm looking stupid, feeling stupid,
Exactly.
and I'm staying there.
Yeah.
So I know for me it was the fact that I wanted to remain silent because we're gonna go get dressed up,
Yes.
and everybody thought we was the perfect couple. So that's the other thing. Sometimes you don't want people to know what's actually going on
Right,
behind the
right,
scenes.
right.
Yeah.
And so while I was the relationship guru, funny thing, I was the
Yeah.
relationship guru when I was in my teens. All my friends, family, they all turn to me for relationship
Yep.
advice. And little did I know this is what I'll be doing today, right? But
Right.
everybody would turn to me. And how do I now say, how do we get in these positions? You said you was very independent, you're a strong woman, and he knew that.
Yeah.
And so I just wonder if sometimes they use that as well, knowing that, okay, she can't bring this to the surface. I could do what I like to her because
Yeah.
she's a leader in her capacity.
Yeah.
So she's not going to go and tell anybody what we're
Right.
doing.
Yeah.
Well, let's go there.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Then you have people who are in position. You got police officers, prison officers, all the corrections, all of that, and they say, "Oh, a woman or a guy dating one of those people could say, I can do what I want because you're not gonna report me.
Right.
You're gonna
Yes.
be embarrassed
Yes.
to report me.
Yep.
What's your job? Nobody's gonna believe
Exactly.
you because they act like God's gift
They do.
to the world,
Yes.
and they will never believe
Yeah.
that person is like that. So they're not gonna be believed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what police officer of the law is gonna want to say, hey, call 911.
Yeah.
Listen, this
my wife just slapped me in
My
the face.
wife just punched me in my face, or my husband just did that. Right.
It's
so you're trapped. You're trapped.
You feel trapped.
Yeah.
You don't want to be embarrassed. And I always was so protective. Like even though I was being abused regularly.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to know that. I don't want him to get in trouble.
Yeah.
It's like no.
And I think that's very popular too. And I think part of it is that I found is that we don't want them to get in trouble because we know their flaws. They have opened up to us with a lot of their issues, our past issues.
Yeah.
So now how do we now betray them? Because we're thinking a lot of times, a lot of youngsters tend to say, I'm what they call it?
Snitch.
Help me out. I'm not no snitch.
Yeah.
I'm not pricking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, pricking about what? He punched you in the face. He
Taking
threw you
licks,
down the
yes.
steps.
Yeah.
But see, they're both doing the same thing for each other. His opened up to her about all his lifelong traumas and stress and sickness, and then she's done the same thing. So now they're thinking about, I'm gonna have his back. She or he is not thinking that, hold up, if this is really love, it wouldn't hurt me this way.
Right. Love don't hurt.
And so that's why I think that's why, and even with today's society, it seems like more and more youngsters are feeling as though I don't want to be a snitch. I'm gonna have his back. Like we're gonna have each other's back.
Yeah.
And as though having your back means I'm gonna take licks or be mistreated.
Loyalty for
ride or
abuse.
die.
Loyalty for abuse.
Loyalty for abuse.
Yeah.
And so all that being said, I think it's so important that all of us, even as adults, we continue to talk to these youngsters as well, because they're making some major mistakes, right? And so with that, and on that note, we're gonna be right back. You don't want to miss it.
Relationship Theory. We'll be right back after these messages.